The things that make me proud about the Frankford section of the Northeast, we're the oldest village of all the villages from here to Lower Bucks County and Montgomery County. And in fact, in the 1620s, this was a village, a Swedish village, as the Swedes moved further up the Delaware River to settle here in Frankford. Between the 1610 and let's say the 1640s. Between the 1640s and the 1680s, it became an English village. But in the old journals and writings of the newcomers to the New World, they add in their writings that not only did they see tens of thousands of Native Americans, but they also saw a mixture of Africans with them. And that was before colonization. So we have a proud and illustrious history that was a well-kept secret here in Philadelphia and in southeastern Pennsylvania for over 300 and something. Most people don't even know, especially the African Americans, don't even know that we've lived out here that long. Well, right now, at the Frankford Historical Society, which celebrated their 100th anniversary in '05, they have archives. In fact, I'm the ad hoc intern curator, archivist, and researcher for African Native American Studies here. In fact, I logged a lot of information, data that I did background on and stuff like that. And the material, the Northeast Historical Network and the Greater Philadelphia Preservation Alliance has given us acknowledgments of our efforts to legitimize and recognize the long-standing roots that we have here, and they documented a lot of that. I've once said in an article done in the Northeast Times that living in this community and living in this area was like being in Harmony Marsh or Mayberry, you know what I mean? Where Andy and Opie and Aunt B and them, because that's the attitude and atmosphere you got from being around here. You had your real birth grandmothers and grandfathers and stuff like that, but you also had the extension of the neighborhood and the communities. I had my Irish grandmother, my Jewish grandmother, my Italian my extended families that I grew up with. We shared from the same place. We were working class neighborhood and community. And the struggles were struggles of life and or as a group, the ethnic groups and stuff like that. But it was a struggle that everyone endured together, which unified us to the, as far as the working class was concerned. Sure, there was racism, biasm and stuff like that, but it wasn't as outwardly as others knew it to be. And we had a safe life. I like to emphasize that as a community of blacks, we were first surrounded by tens of thousands of Native Americans from the 5 nations. Then we were surrounded by tens of thousands of Europeans who came to this community in this area when it was still flourishing and rural. The largest population growth to the Northeast Philadelphia came after World War II when it grew expeditiously, but no one knew of this tiny little freed enclave of Africans who settled before the settlers, because we are the untold story, because recognition of our status wasn't the same as those who fought, the Europeans that fought for America during the Revolution. But George Washington, Lafayette, General Wayne, or none of them could not have traversed from here to New Hope when they went to take Boston on Christmas Eve if they didn't have African Native American pathfinders from this village and community who served with them, who helped not only the Pennsylvania militia, but the Continental Army fight within southeastern Pennsylvania. In other words, they knew all the paths and the back roads in Lower Montgomery County and Bucks County before they became Lower Bucks County, Montgomery County and stuff. This was still Indian, tribal land. But they coexist with the European settlers here in this community for centuries. I'm honored, pleased, and proud to be a part of that. When others might have thought that we were just, say, slaves and servants, some of our families hold some of the oldest deeds in the Northeast. I mean, we're talking deeds that date back to the 1700s. To know that you and your people, the ancestral descendants of people who've been in the same area, which I use a benchmark of 1610 to 2010, we just celebrated our 400 years of being right here, from the river to the boulevard. Most of our families live between the river and Abington and Jenkintown and out there where Willow Grove is. A lot of people don't know that, but the original African families were from right here, most of them, and then they went out to where they worked on the larger farms and had their own farms and stuff like that. I'm very, very proud of my community and its people. The information and data that I hold here reflects and represents an ongoing project. It's called The Beginning and Beyond. It celebrates the first decade after our 400 years, from 1610 to 2010. From 2010 upwards to 2020, we will try to do 5 yearly events. We started in 2010, this is 2012, we're going to do 14, 16, 18, 20, where we hope to have a time capsule buried down here at Meadow and Marbury, across from where the church that you were. That's a family church, Second Baptist. But for us, that intersection is one of the most historical African-American intersections in the Northeast, in all of the Northeast. And this reflects a lot of our firsts. You see there's a portrait of Richard Allen from Mother Bethel, AME. Robert Purvers, president and conductor of the Underground Railroad. Dr. Imani, the first CEO and founder of African Charter School. Billy Gambrell from Granville Park, Jason Dawkins' grandfather. You see we have the first minority state rep, the first minority city council rep. So as it indicates, can you name the faces of our history? And so we can educate them on knowing who we are and where we come from. This is a House Resolution HR 489, which gives recognition to reflect our background and heritage. The fact that this was Second Baptist Church, this is Campbell. Now these are not a good quality copy, but we have the original. And this is Wilmot School for African Children, okay? Whom of the 3 to 5 oldest teaching and educational institutes in America, do you know what it was to be African and had a schoolhouse that was not a clapboard, one room from 1 to 12th grade that they taught at, but to actually have stone and brick as your schoolhouse with your classrooms and stuff? Very impressive, very honored to be a part. A lot of the community came from this. This is a citation that they did in recognition of my organization and my history, both sponsored by State Rep Tony Payton. I can give you a picture of 5 sons in uniform from 66 through, let's say, 84 in the 3 branches of the military, and this is just a little backdrop of what it is. Maybe we can enhance and continue to educate those who don't know as much as they should know about this community and our people. Frankford is love, peace, and happiness, but you would not get them if you didn't have respect for self, your neighbor, your community, and beyond. And I think that will come back again to help bring posture, pride and posture back to what this community once had. And if they had it that long, this is no time to abandon it. In a word, the love and feeling and aspiration that we have for this community runs deep in my soul, spirit, and heart, and I hope to spread that throughout the community. Frankford is pride.